3, 2, 1. Harrison, think of a really clever cold open. Quick.
Oh
God.
Don't you hate it when you're just having airline food and
Oh jeez, yeah.
Between Wednesdays, just trying to get by to the next fix. Living between Wednesdays, prefer the comics over the Netflix. Living between Wednesdays.
Anyway, comics.
Well, we just were talking about comics.
We were.
Talking about different kind of comics.
No, look at that.
Hey.
In the hat. Now that's a cold open.
It was a good week for comics, in my opinion. Lots of really solid ongoings. But that's not what we're here to tell you about. We're telling you about comics where you can start fresh.
Yeah.
Read a number 1, or read a volume 1.
Or trade one.
Just something where after you
Single
hear us
shot.
talk about it, you can be like, I can go get that. Not, I should have gone and got that 8 issues ago.
That's too many issues ago.
That's like 8 to 16 months at least.
Yeah, that's way too many.
Not even including quarterlies.
I don't
Man.
even talk about quarterlies. Jeez. That's why I gave up on heavy metal. But thank God they have a new.
That was last week.
Oh, that's last week. Okay, whatever.
you just last week you were talking about how much you love heavy metal. And you're saying you're giving up on it?
No, I gave up on it, and then heavy metal came out with its single issues, and now I'm in, because singles issues are easier to inspire. Comics.
What comic besides Bill Burr and Rodney Dangerfield did you like?
Well, first of all, Rodney Dangerfield. I have no segue for this. Let's go with The Department of Truth. I really like this book. I believe you guys did as well.
I was so worried it was going to be another book about the current state of politics and the people involved in them, and I'm like, I agree it's all shit, but I'm tired of fiction exploring it. Take me somewhere else.
Yeah, and I was a little afraid when we started it because that there's an interview with the FBI and Lee Harvey Oswald in the beginning, and it's definitely a tumultuous time when it comes to misinformation in the news and media and like this. I don't know if I want this in my comics. I could use some more punching, but this is actually not that. It's more the Department of Truth. It's about like issue 1 is just like a springboard to what the story will be. It's just here to introduce us to the characters involved and what they're doing, and then we still don't know what this book's going to be about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's them. I'm assuming. Investigating conspiracies and then making sure they're still just conspiracies.
Yeah, because I learned a new phrase, the word tulpa, which I didn't know before.
Yes, I didn't know that either.
Which is thought form, when belief gives form to something.
If enough people believe it takes a shape and corporeal form, and they're afraid that will happen if enough people believe dumb conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. And so, like, the Department of Truth is there to investigate and make sure not enough people are being sheep and walking down the thing and making fucking flat earths and QAnons. So, and it's well written. It's really well illustrated. Yeah. I like how it looks a lot. And it's a fun read. It was a breezy read. A lot of things I read this week were not fun to read. And this one was.
A lot of there was one page in particular where sort of the sketchy art style reminded me a lot of Bill Sienkiewicz, like 90s stuff.
There's some good old toaster head in that. Was it toaster head?
Mr. Stray Toasters.
Stray Toasters, yeah.
The brave little toaster head.
You know, there's the Mars in the second one?
I'm not sure I knew there was a second one.
There was a second one. There was a straight to DVD or straight to home video Brave Little Toaster movie. It was just VHS. Because the first one's such like an intimate, like we just gotta get across. It's like Homeward Bound, but with like appliances.
Homeward Brown?
Homeward Brown. But instead of dogs, they're appliances. And in 2, they go to Mars.
Shit.
What are they doing on Mars? That's too much.
It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's just like
that's
escalating.
Like if Homeward Brown 3, those dogs went to Jupiter. It just wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, Department of Truth is really good. Chris, how you feeling?
I'm okay.
What do you got? What do you got going? What's gunning for Ramirez?
Gunning for Ramirez is a trade about a vacuum repairman.
Oh.
But he also might be an ex-assassin.
Those sound like conflicting interests.
I mean, I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. I don't think if you kill people, you can't repair a vacuum real good.
Very open-minded view. I appreciate that.
But that's my pitch for this comic. It's
doesn't
pretty
sound
good.
like it sucks.
It's pretty good. It's got gangsters. It's got ex-movie stars who are on the run for a crime spree.
There are a lot of panels in this.
It's pretty dense. Yeah.
It's a good-looking book. It's fun.
It was fun. It was a neat and clean volume 1. It's not all of it, which I was kind of excited for because they do a lot of character building, so it would be hard to wrap it all up in the first trade, so they just don't. A good speedy read and something a little bit more stylized than we normally get, like we usually get the Sean Phillips sort of like crime noir stuff lately. So this is like has a little bit more.
It looks like if Michael Mann made a comic, very neon noir.
Yeah, it's got a bit more of a sense of humor than.
Tartarus is a deep pit where the Titans are trapped in Greek mythology, but in this book, it's also a deep prison that is also a hole. So that's where that comes from. But I looked at every page of every issue as this came out and had lots of trouble following it because it is deep world building and it started pre-COVID times.
Oh.
And so I just loved the artwork so much, but just had no idea what was going on. So now that it is bound all together, I am able to not only appreciate the like beautiful stylistic like world building and not only like the visuals of like just everything from the soldiers' uniforms to the weapons to the cities and stuff, but just like the actual character building. I remember picking up like issue 4, there was a guy on like a Tinder date, and I was like, what? I thought this was like a war book. And now I'm rereading, I'm like, oh, okay, I see how that came too.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's, I love the artist so much. I picked up another book that the artist did, Unbound, Cullen Bunn writ, and the artist wrote. Whoa, that's not proper past tense. Jack T. Cole. Yeah, Jack T. Cole and Cullen Bunn had a book called Unsound that was really good, but his art style is amazing. One thing I noticed while...
I really like Unbound, the Cullen Bunn thing. It's a gorgeous book.
Yeah, just really... The Jack T. Cole definitely has an eye for creating very original-looking spaces.
Yes.
Like when they're like the bowels of the asylum in that one, or all the places there are in this. Everything just looks so unlike anything I've ever seen. I was thinking how not only some of like the back cover designs and sort of interval pages in the single issues and the volume look a lot like some of the graphic design work on Little Bird. Turns out the same graphic designer worked on both books.
Good eye.
You're at the back here. Ben Didier doing some cool graphic design on like, because that was Little Bird. Like I loved. There's like sort of like a glyph on the back of each issue, so I'm assuming that was him who did that. So great work there. The writer also co-created one of Chris's favorite books, Angel Catbird.
Lucky.
Just a really solid story about a warlord's daughter who's being like forced into her mother's role, essentially.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Because there was like a warlord kept in this prison who gave birth in the prison, and her daughter was raised not knowing her past, thinking, oh, I'm just a farm girl who's going to join the army to see the world. And then, like, they find out that she's the daughter of this warlord. Her army generals are like, well, kill yourself. Literally.
I can see the little bird visuals in there. Yeah, for sure.
And it's sort of her having to take up her mother's mantle, essentially, kind of being forced into it. But if you like space battles and really cool sword fights and gunfights and weird big laser mechs and
stop drilling, you hit oil. I like big laser mechs.
It's solid. I actually thought, I didn't realize this was just volume 1. I thought it was just going to be like, Tartarus is a book you can read, but it's apparently still going, which I'm happy about because I think it's a cool, well-envisioned story.
Wednesday to Wednesday, I be going hard from like Wednesday to Wednesday.
Yeah, hey, pal, you got that one where Superman goes to Supertown? Yeah, I got that when it come out. I like the 4th one.